Hi everybody, I'm just seeing if this is working. So I'm now using this thing called StreamYard, which means you should be able to see two screens. So let's just see, just wait a bit, see if anybody's about. I'll come on 5 minutes early just to see if this is working. Now I've never used StreamYard before, but I really wanted to do these two split screens that you can see. So I think from viewing it from the other side, you get a little message that says you've got to agree that StreamYard can put your name up. So if anyone can manage to do that, then you can talk to me. Hi, Joe. Oh, you're an amazing person. So it's working. Can you see two screens? Can everyone see what I can see? So I've never used this before, and I've got no way of checking whether it's working. So hopefully, we'll just say we're 5 minutes early, so I just want to wait a few minutes just to see. There's 37 people watching. If anybody's got a way of saying hello, that'd be really cool. Hi, Bev. Awesome. Yes, I'm looking forward to all the classes too. I'm really hoping that next week we get some good news and that we can. Hi, Lucy. Two screens. Hey, come on. Can I get some credit for managing two screens? I think that's pretty epic. For me, crikey, it's some long nights trying to get this sorted out, and I'm sure there's much better and fancier ways of doing it, but hey, I've managed it, so I'm quite happy. So hopefully they'll get the classes going again soon, even if we're all sort of socially distancing on other sides of halls and screen masked up and stuff like that. But I'm happy enough with that. So in the meantime, I'm here. I've never done this before. I've never done a live sculpt. This is worrying me way more than the structures are, because at least with structures I can just do them in advance, and if I screw it up, then I can just redo them. So if I screw this up with some weird boss-eyed tiger, so then the whole world will know that I screw stuff up quite a lot. Yeah. But I've decided to stop worrying. I've got this beautiful friend called Karen, and I panicked her every time I do one of these, and she's just like, would you stop trying to be perfect and just chill out? So this is me chilling out. I've got some music on in the background. Hey, Linda. Hi, Tammy. I know, Nadia, 50 people. Oh, 48 now. Two have found more interesting things to do. No, 52. Wow, it jumps around. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Natalie. I won't screw it up. But I screw everything up. And now I'm going to screw it up in front of you all. So there we go. Because if I just screw it up, then none of you will worry, will you? And you'll carry on, because then you'll realise that I'm no different to anybody else. So we are 3 minutes out. So I'm just going to ramble on for a couple more minutes, just so that I don't start before anybody is wanting to be here. Visuals are fine. Sound is jumpy on the iPhone. Try my iPad. Okay. Well, hopefully I won't do too much talking. There's not really a lot for me to say in this one. I'm just going to try and get into some sort of little zone and do it. I was going to practice it, but then I realised that if I ever had this as a client cake, I wouldn't practice it. I'd just get on and do it. So that's what I'm going with, the same mentality. Let's see whether it works or not. So the time check is 2 minutes to go, and then we'll get this going. So the guy I'm going to do, hair on my face, is I'm going to try and do this guy's face for everybody. The reason why I chose a white tiger is because I don't have to get the airbrush out. That was a step too far for me tonight. Hey, Devinda. Sound is fine, Irene. Hello, Nicola. Nicola did a really cool cake that she sent me a picture of a staffy head. If she's got a way of putting it in the comments, it'd be really nice if you guys could see it. I don't know if you can add pictures. If not, I'll show it to you all later. Yeah, sound fine. Okay. If you can hear a little squeaker, it's my baby girl who's in the next room, and Daddy who's trying to keep her quiet. As you can imagine, yeah. So if you hear squeaking, it's not me. Well, it might be me, but it's also her. Okay. Should we get going? 66 people. All right. So this is our guy. I just showed you him. I'll bring that in there. You should be able to see. So what I've done is I've done an 8-inch cake. And I was just going to use an 8-inch cake, but actually, if you look at it, you've got a round shape here, but he's got this great big chin on the bottom. So I didn't know where to put his chin if just an 8-inch cake. So I've had another smaller cake around, and I just literally just chucked it on the bottom just to give me some chin. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to do it. And I'm going to end up with a pile of icing that I don't really want. All right, I'm going to chuck my hair up because I don't know what to do with it when it's down. And I'll do something. Wish me luck, guys. All right, Right, first up, you need to shape this in. So before I did this, I just filled it and I've stuck it together a bit of buttercream on there. So from now on, you're going to ignore me and focus on that. There. Okay, I can make it a whole screen, but I'll leave me in for a bit. Okay. So first up, I'm going to soften down. So a huge jump here, which is not going to help us. So I'm just going to start pulling off some of these edges. Ooh, my phone just vibrated. I don't know if that means I've got a notification. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that. Then I think just because it's annoying me, we're going to just pull off some of this chin, because at the moment the chin looks massive and it's really distracting me. So I wanted to do this earlier and I thought I'd better not, because you guys probably want to see it. I'm just going to shape in that a little bit and shape in that a little bit, just to give my eye a better image to look at. I'm going to try very hard not to bash this phone above me. Okay. So what I need to do is make his muzzle the most pronounced bit. So that's the bit that's going to stick out. Now, I don't want to keep adding more cake on, because then it's just getting higher and higher. So what I'm going to do is the opposite. I'm going to recess the cake back. So his eyes are going to be somewhere like that. So if I start just coming in a bit. So if I go quiet, it's because I'm trying to figure out what on earth I'm doing. This isn't a cake design I've done before, so realistically I should have picked one of the ones that I knew at like the back of my hand, but that would be too easy, wouldn't it? So let's just cut in there and take out that chunk there. I do the same on the other side. Get around the phone somehow. Let's cut in there like that. Pull that out. Okay, so that's his muzzle. Eyes are going to sit there. So let's just slope this forehead back. I want it to kind of sit nicely on the board. I don't want it to sort of stick out totally. So I'm going to come in. This cake I only threw in the oven this afternoon, so it's really, really soft. Definitely advise, if you can, give your cakes 24 hours just to set up a little bit. Otherwise, you're just making life much harder for yourself. Okay, so if this is the bit that's sticking out the most, we need to slope it backwards into his head so that he's got that muzzle. If you ever want to make a gas mask, apparently this is how you do it. Let's have a look. Right, everyone still see me? Hey, Benedetta. Tracy, right, awesome. We're still there. We're still rolling, yep. So now this chin is sticking out. It really looks like a gas mask. Hey, that's sorted, isn't it? If you've got teenage kids, World War fans. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this chin back, because the chin does not sit higher than his nose, does it? It sits slightly down on it. I'll show you that. Okay. So I'm just going to start taking this chin right back. Ah, look at that, I've cut my board. And then let's round it off still further. About equal proportions. Okay, again, just working into that drop. So that it comes out of the board but isn't sort of stuck out. Here we've got a gap where his mouth comes in. going to cut that, and I'm just going to bring that in there. Like that. So we've got top eyes, cheeks coming in here, and then we're going to build all that up in fur. I think what I'll do is I'll just give him a bit of an angle rather than a completely rounded head. I'm just going to put it in here and here. So I've got somewhere to put his ears. All right. Now there's going to be a nose here, and I don't know if I want to cut it in. Do a little bit, I suppose, but mostly that's going to be in the next stage. All right, everyone's still with me. Hey, Danielle. You can see him taking shape, Bev. Yeah, that doesn't take long, does it? Doesn't take long. I think his chin's a bit too pronounced if I look at it. It's funny, isn't it? Sometimes you look twice. You look, and all it takes is a second of looking away. And when you look back, you think, yeesh. You have to go and have another go. I don't want him to have too pronounced chin like that. We are going to build in all the fur around here, though. I don't know why I'm saying we, because you're not doing anything. You're sitting on your bums watching. Normally, when I'm teaching, everyone's working with me. Maybe next week I'll send you all kit lists. Right, one thing I didn't think to do was to bring anything over here to tidy this up. Cool, I'm happy with that. I'm just going to run off over there and grab something so that I can pop all this in. All right, talk amongst yourself for a second. Get all this in. I could use pieces to build up here, but I think there'd be so little, it's probably not worth it. So let me just get all this out of the way. What do the pros do with all their offcuts and stuff? They have a little minion somewhere who cuts it, gets rid of it all. Again, just trying not to get that camera. First is going to be fun. All right. All right, come back. Okay, the next thing I want to do, ooh, I hate mess, is build up his features. Just getting this out of the way. This is chocolate cake, and it will just get everywhere. And chocolate cake and white tiger is a bit of a daft combination, isn't it? But as there's no one to eat this other than my kids, I've got to do what they like. Right. Okay. Fleshing out. I'm just going to add some structure underneath before I put my pieces on top. Don't know if you can hear my little girl going on in the background. Okay. So we're going to just build up some structure. What I'm going to do yeah, hang on a second. We've got a bit. Can't put the structure on unless you've got something to stick it to. So next, you need to crumb coat it. So I did the middle bit already. That's what's throwing me. I'm just going to put some crumb coat on. So it's just normal buttercream. I do it really simply. Just 1 to 2. So this is 250 grams of butter, 500 grams of icing sugar. Get them covered up. Messy, huh? Definitely not a neat hobby. Right, almost there. You need your crumb coat to keep all the cake moist. Stop it drying out. And also it gives your paste something to stick to. Just cut around the other side quickly. Alright, now we can go back to what I was doing. Dozy. Here you go. Don't worry about the board for now, it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 pieces on to accentuate out that muzzle. And I'm going to put a nose piece on. There we go. There's one. Now, I've got to find the balance here between making these big enough that they will show through and not making them so big that he looks disproportionate. Okay, so those 2 pieces on. We'll give him a nose piece. His nose is there. Just making sure it's not running up too high. With the edges, I need to make sure the edges are pushed down because otherwise you get ridges which you don't want. And then we'll give him his nose as well. Okay, just going to work into his eyes. Just going to bring those over a bit actually. To make sure he's got a nice wide face. Otherwise he won't be right. And a match on the other side. Right, I've lost a bit of that side, it's dropped away, so I'm just going to build it up a bit. Just so that his eye doesn't drop off down there somewhere where we don't want it to. Now, looking at my picture, his eyes are actually quite small, a lot smaller than you might imagine, so trying to make sure his eyes don't get too big. A lot of faffing goes on here, that's what worries me about the live things, the amount I faff about. Okay, happy with that structure, happy with his cheeks, and then I'm just going to build in these bits. I said we could do them in cake, but it's such a small amount, I'm not sure we need to. So I'm just going to put a couple of pieces in there, and one on the other side as well. You're coming along. Hey Sylvia. Oh, hang on. What does that say? No, it's just fondant. It's just fondant. Nothing fancy. I really don't do anything fancy. But it is soft. It's really soft sugar paste. I tend to use the brands that are softest so that I can manipulate them more. I'm just going to build in a chunk this side as well. Gives us something to work on. And just because it's annoying me having that there. If I was doing this for real, I wouldn't have my board covered. I'd be covering the board afterwards. But I figured on the line there wouldn't be time to do that. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just put a couple of pieces round the side just to help me out when I want to add in some real fur. There. You see him? Again, I'm just aware that I've got one side, his cheek is quite dropped compared to the other. So I'm going to fix it here rather than having to fix it later and worrying about it. Let's do that with this higher, I want them to match. So I'm just going to build it up a bit. Put that in there. That's better, they sit evenly now. Okay, cool, and now I've got that. Now I've got that. I'm going to get them covered. Speed caking. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Have I got any other questions? Hello, Sue. Hi. Deb, why have you got Bentley's on? That's confusing. Deb is two different people. Ah, okay. You're talking to, all right. You're talking to yourselves. You're not talking to me. That's fine. You can talk to yourself. You can talk to each other. Oh, I know what you guys are talking about. You're talking about the Stockport class, aren't you? Yeah, that's in the autumn, isn't it? So should be okay by then. I'm going to just grab a bit more because I don't really want to have to pull it off and discover that I haven't got enough pricing. So normally I'll probably gamble it, but gambling it in front of you lot, I'm not brave enough yet. Give me a couple of seconds of doing this and I won't get. Right now I do. Okay. Okay. So now I need to get him. I don't know, covered. Again, I've got bits of chopped cake here because normally, if this was me doing this, I would now completely clear down. So all of this would be clear because it's the only way to stop getting cake bits in your icing. So I do all the dirty work and then I clear down completely and then do all the clean work. God, I give myself so much icing here. Okay, whilst you're hanging about, if you look on the comments thread, I put a link to a brand new group that I've opened up. It's called, let me check what I called it. It's called the Cake Illusionist Sculpting School Community Group. If you want to see more of this kind of stuff and more lives, that's where I'm going to start taking it. There's a link there to join. Can you hear that? It's my boy upstairs. There's a link to join in the comments. I'll put it up separately later as well, but just in case. Don't go away right now. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself. Right, do I think that's wide enough? Just about maybe. Okay, ready? Let's get this on. Let's see. Okay, so just offering it up. I'm going to let it drop in that chin, otherwise it's going to be real pain. So I'm just letting it drop in the chin before going over. Okay, let's see if I can find him. Let's see. Hi, Sabrina. Done 3D animals. It's very exciting as it's progressive. Looking forward to the finished project. Oh, yes. Yeah, find the group. That's where I'll be doing a lot more stuff. Because my page has lots of different people on it. So I'm not sure everyone wants to be bombarded with this sort of stuff. But let's see. So yeah, it's called the Cake Illusionist Sculpting School Community. And the reason I have to write it down is because I can't for the life of me remember what I called it. And I keep losing it myself. I know I keep losing it because that's me, but all right. Let's see him. Is he in there? Are you in there, Mr. Tiger? Please be in there. So as I start stroking down, fingers crossed, he'll start appearing. If not, I quit and go and work at Tesco's. Anyone see it yet? Got my boys to sit up there quietly. As you can tell, it's working really, really well. Okay. Right. Let's get the tools. Okay, these are my sculpture tools. You've got a big ball tool, a middle ball tool, and a small ball tool. And on the other end, you have colour shapers. So that's what I'm going to use here. I'm just going to get these eyebrows down because they're way too high, cartoony. Good thing about working with soft icing is you can really play it. Okay, let's see if I can find his eyes. So I'm not going to do his eyes too big. And I'm not going to worry that it's gone through the back because it's going to have eyes in there anyway. I'm trying not to fat because you haven't got one eye. Maybe you have got one eye. What's everyone up to? What, you just sat on the sofas? Where are you tuning in from? Oh, you're still chatting to each other. Right, okay, I'll butt out then, that's fine. You carry on. Oh, sorry, hit the camera. It's hard having a camera in front of your face. You can see what I'm doing. Okay. I think I'll shut up and just get on with it. What do you reckon? So I love doing this. Not with you lot, like hanging out, but just in general. Sculpting is just the most peaceful thing you can do, isn't it? When life is complete chaos, just to be able to come in and sit and do something like this, it's honestly, it's a joy. Just flattening his nose off a little bit. Right, let's try and do his little bow. Can you get that groove in? And then let's Give him some depth around his mouth. And then he's got these lovely little dots here that you can just add in. Big water might be a bit too big for it. Let's just try. All right, whilst I'm here, I'm going to start filling in some fur here. So this is using the flat end of the middle ball tool. Is that camera above working? Is it what you can see what I'm up to? Just trying to think how to do it with just from the front camera, but I couldn't see how you'd be able to see anything. So that's why I've split in. What was it? I think I'd find it stressful. Mine would probably look like it had been hit by a plank. There's a very good chance this one will look like it's been hit by a plank, but I shall tell the client that I designed it that way and that's part of the art. It's not. Sculpting is not stressful. It's lovely. What's stressful is finding the time to do it and having family crawling all over you. But when I can shut the kitchen door, is normally about midnight. It's just the most peaceful thing in the world to sit here and just sculpt away. So normally you haven't got like cameras in awkward places and people. But you know, it's kind of right. Right. So I'm just going to try to see what I can do here whilst I have my phone in front of my head. I just want to accentuate out this a little bit more. Let's come in here. Let's go on the other side. Whatever I'm doing with the tools, I'm going back over with my fingers and just smoothing in. And then he's got these kind of nice cheeks here, so I'm just going to try and work those in. Those in. So it builds up in stages, really. I faff about. Okay, so now let's just take that up there a bit more. That one up there a bit more. We got his face? Okay, so now I'm just going to put in some fur. Now I can see on the picture which way the fur goes. And I'm quite militant about following fur. It's really important to follow pictures rather than just imagining. The fur on his nose is really subtle. And then as it comes up, it gets slightly stronger. Coming in around here. It's been quite a good client cake, wouldn't it, actually? I've never made this for a client. I normally pull figures. I think this could look quite cool. Especially if they didn't need to serve lots and lots of people. All right, now we don't want to make him too furry or else we'll end up with a line. I'm just going to bring in a bit here. So the longer you make your strokes, the furrier he's going to get. The shorter you make the strokes, the less furry, or more close fur. And then if I put my hand underneath, I can start pulling that fur out properly. That's cool, isn't it? All right, and we get out here, we really start going for it. Can you see that? Yeah, actually I've got no idea because I've never used this one before, but I believe if it's anything like the normal lives, then they'll appear as videos at the top of the page. So you'll be able to see them all. It ran away with me there. So look, now I'm really, really chopping in. So you can see the outside layer, I'm really going for it. So do you see all those different types of fur? I'm going to put something. All from the same tool, just depending on how much pressure you put into it. Now I've got to go around the other side without catching the camera over the top, so if it looks weird, that's why. Just making sure those tear ducts are really, really nice and prominent. My phone keeps giving me notifications. Can you guys see those or feel them, or is it making it vibrate at all? Do I have to turn my notifications off? So first time I've done this, so I'm eager to learn as much as you can tell me. Oh, left-handed fur. It's really hard. Okay. Nope, I'm not going to try. I'm just going to go over here for a minute. Just bear with me. Get too carried away. So again, just hold it there and I'll get that fur coming in there. And then I want it to go smoother. So gentle, gentle, gentle. If you go too far with it, you can just use your hands to soften it in. It will take in like 50%. And then these ones, I just create a line, put my hand against it, and I can really chop it through. So let's stand up, just finish this off. I'm not going to go too crazy on the top. Just make sure it's got lots of fur going down the side. All right. Just deepen that in. I could sit and do this all night, I really could. So fun. Okay, so very quickly, just going to pop some ears on, but let's just see what's going on. Yes, it's just normal fondant sugar paste, stuff you buy from the supermarket. Yeah, it's no modelling chocolate or anything. This doesn't need it. Yeah, oh, I'll do that in a second. No, what have we got? How thick did you roll the fondant? About 3 to 4 millimeters. With sculptor stuff, you need to roll it thick enough that you're going to be able to put your fur texture in. If you roll it really thin, like you would do wedding cake, as soon as you start trying to texture it, you're going to really struggle. So 3 to 4 mils. And also, if it's soft sugar paste, then if you roll it too thin, it will just rip anyway. So probably a little bit thinner. Debs, I can't see your notifications. I'll hear the vibrations, but it might explain the front of the feed being interrupted, jumpy at times. Yeah. So next time I'll turn off notifications. I have no idea who's talking to me. So yeah, I'll turn off figure out how to turn off notifications next time. So that's awesome. Thanks. Hi, Anne. Hi, Marissa. It would take me all day to get to this stage. Yeah, but I haven't got all day, have I? How long have I got? 39 minutes already. I have no idea what time it's going to disappear. So I'm absolutely racing through. But on that point, I'm going to stick some ears on. You know what? Because his head is lying down, I've got some modelling paste to do it, but I don't think it's going to need it. Just whack some ears on me. So normally I'd use modelling paste to do this, because obviously you need his ears to set up if he's sitting up, but because he's like this, so let me just, you didn't see that at all. Hang on. What I'm going to do, create a curve shape. Thicker in the middle. I've got of securing this. This could get interesting. Actually, I have talking rubbish, water, and brush. So you could use a cocktail stick as well. Let's see if I can get it to do it. Please stay in the ear. And then I'll just curve it up. So I left the middle bit thick so that it would stand, and then I've just pinched the edges. And once it's set up a bit, actually, you can then have a play with it. But for now, that's good enough. And then, with all this stuff on the inside, I can texture that up. Try not to get in. It's a great big rough, tough ears. And do that one more time. Hang on, I can't see the comment, Karen, on something to do with watch parties, but I'll look back afterwards because I was wondering what watch parties were, and I can't. Oh, that vibration is because I just hit the table. Yeah, I have so much to learn. It's crazy. But then 3 weeks ago, I'd never done any live, because I'm pathologically frightened of anything like that. And I like hiding in my kitchen on my own without worrying about the world. So, and then the world decided to go into lockdown, and I was a bit stuck. So now I'm learning as I'm going. You know, it's all good fun, isn't it? And I quite like the fact that if I do mess it up, then it just proves that, yeah, I'm no different. Because I do worry that some people think I've got these kind of crazy magic powers. I haven't. There you go. How's that? Is that looking right? Right here? Okay, so he's got ears. He's got a face. What I'm going to do now is just cut away with my really dirty knife. Let's try and use a clean knife. Cut away this excess. I'm just going to come in right underneath. Did you notice that I didn't cut before I'd finished? Because your icing is drying on you all the time. And if you start spending time cutting away and cleaning up, whilst you're cleaning up, your icing is happily drying. So always finish all your texture work first and then cut away. Too tight there. So you don't need to cut away until the end. And then what I'm going to do, just finish cutting this away. I'm going to cut under this fur. So we've got ears, we've got face, we've got fur. I'll push a bit more fur through here. So what we need now is some eyes and a bit of paint. Just putting that in there because the marks on the border are annoying me. So normally I'd do this, I'd cover it at the end. A bit more reaching. Okay, let's give him some paint work. Are you still with me? Thank you. Thank you, I'm glad you like it. It's going at a crazy speed. Okay, so let's do a bit of dusting. Right, I'm just going to set this up So I'm going to use, to get it working, my cocoa powder. Anyone who's been on the other lives will know I quite like working in cocoa dust, cocoa powder, because it sets. So it starts like that, and then when you put it in, it melts. And then when you put your dust and stuff on top, they may colour it however you want, but it's when it sets up, it goes. And so if I painted this in black, then when someone eats it, they're going to get black straight all over their mouth and stuff, and it really, really worries me. I don't like that. Take a bite and they get covered in black, or you have to start glazing it and things like that. So I started using cocoa powder with cocoa butter. I started using cocoa butter with powders because it sets up beautifully. Just throw my white on the floor. So whilst that's doing that, I'm just going to we're just going to add some dust in. So I've got to do this all first before I put his eyes in. His eyes are going last. So this is super white. Show this camera. Oh, where are you? There. Super white. Chocolate. Black. Magic. Just set up a bit of this. I don't use a lot of black. I really, really, really try and avoid it. Even you'll find if you actually look at a white tiger, they're very, very dark brown, as opposed to black. So I do try, and I didn't use that one. Just get it dry. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just build in some dust areas. So using my brown, I'm going to start dusting them in. Using my picture as reference. Hopefully, he'll start looking a bit better on the camera now, because you should be able to see him better as I start pulling in some of these dusts. So starting with the brown, working into his eyes. And the brown is the most fair, especially around his mouth here, bottom edge of his mouth, loads of dark coming in here. So I can go on the black dust, but I generally mix in a load of brown with it first. So it's basically just another very, very dark brown rather than a straight black. I'm loath to use straight black. Yeah, look at that, his ears falling off. Why did nobody tell me? Or maybe you did. So if you're going to do this at home, stick a cocktail stick in whilst it's drying. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is start working on some of these stripes. I'm going to put them in dust first, so that they look nice and realistic. If you just shove in a load of black lines, it won't look right. You've got to work down to the dark colours. You can't just chuck them in. You have to put the base colours in first. Then you can do some black. So one here somewhere. Doesn't matter what you do with the tiger, as long as they match on both sides. I don't want to use this brush to do the finer stripes because it's too thick. So I'm just using them to work on these outside edgy ones. And then I'll come in. There's got to be something around here too. starting to come to life now. I've got the dust on, right? Always the dust to do that. I'm just going to hold his ear whilst I do this because it's not set up. Okay, just get right in here. And the other one I just want to do is just his nose here. Okay, whack a different brush on. So I'm now going on to so that was a great big dust brush. I'm just into a, where is it? Where's the camera gone? Oh, there. Lost it. There. Slightly smaller one. Just so that obviously the smaller the brush, the more you can control it. But also, when you get small, you then end up with much more stronger lines. So use your bigger brushes to start with and then just drop down them. Right. Let's just try it again. Blacky brown. I'm just going to try and get some marks in here without them being too aggressive. A bit more onto his chin. Okay, now then, I've got my cocoa butter and my black. As soon as you take it off the heat, firstly it burns your hand, and secondly it will start setting up. So now then, let's try and do some a bit more. I'm just going to mix it with the brown a little bit. I don't mind it setting up a little bit because it's a bit runny, so that just helps me. I get to control it, which is great. So I'm just going to start working in. I'll do these as quick as I can, guys. So anyone who's just joined, if you want to see more of these, just opened an online group called, what is it? The Cake Illusionist Sculpting School Community. So I'm going to do a lot more of these, but I'm going to take them in there because so lots of different people follow my pages and a lot of clients follow my pages as well, and they probably don't want to hear me waffling on about how things are done. So there's a link on the chat. If you can't find it, message me, whatever, and then come and find me, and we'll do this more often. That's assuming anyone wants me to do this more often. Right, so when we're coming up here, whatever you do on one side has to be done on the other side. And then they come up into, they start coming up into a V here. You guys can still see what I can see good. I feel like one of those challenges against some sort of clock. I hope I'm in the middle because I can't really see because of where the camera is. So tigers, some of them are thick stripes, some of them are thin stripes. Try and make sure your stripes vary. 1, 2, 3. One up there. One up there. Get in there, aren't we? Okay, so I'm going to come in here now. there, and we've got something going on over here. And let's go here. So I'm now trying to match it across. Well, no, I need to be over the top to see it, I'm guessing, roughly. We've got something going here. Okay, just going to do a couple more and then I'll leave that bit. So, leave me to my own devices, I'd sit here all night and do it. Got one there. Okay, so all I'm going to do now, put that over there, is put a little bit of pink on his nose and his ears, if I can get them to stay up. So again, pink dust. With a tiny bit of water and probably a bit of super white just to soften it up again. Most stuff I do has got super white in it. And then I can just paint in his nose. I'm not worried if I pick up a bit of black, that's fine. Nothing is pure in nature. It's always a bit muddy, a bit mottled. So I like that. It really doesn't bother me at all. I never try and keep my palettes clean in terms of, you know, a straight pink or a straight this or a straight that. I'm always messing in browns and blacks and things. I think it makes them look more realistic. If you have everything too sterile, perfect pinks and perfect blacks and stuff, it starts looking more cartoony. So I can go back in now and add in some brown. I'm just going to paint down this gap here because we've got nothing here really. The dust didn't pick up too much. Okay, everybody's still with me. Thank you, Joe. Don't tell me this is terrible and then make me read. Heart attack, Sylvia. Right, hang on. I have to make a tiger as well as all the other things on my list just for fun. Yeah, no, this is cool, isn't it? Because it's a fast one. That's what I was trying to figure out what to create, is what's fast enough that I can show you, but still kind of cool. Right. I'm just putting a bit of water in the back of his eyes because you don't want his eyeballs falling out. Magical how it's loving coming to life. Thank you. Okay, look, there's plenty of time to ruin it yet. Just hang in there. Next minute. Okay, so now I'm going to pop his eyes in. I learned a lot about white tigers today. None of it's pretty nice. None of it's very nice. They do have these blue eyes though, apparently because they lack all pigment, and therefore in reality they're a very pale blue. I think most of the images you see are too bright, but they're a very, very, very pale blue because they lack all pigment. My board is really annoying me, but there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm going to have to get over it. Okay, so round eyeball in. We'll go with the other one. And then all I'm going to do, I can grab the right bits and bobs again, lost my blue, there it is. Little bit of pale blue against my super white. God, I'm nearly done. This is quite staggering. And you can still see it. I was a bit worried about everything was just going to shut off or whatever. So, just check this in. I'm just going to paint the entire eyeball that very, very, very pale blue. I don't want to do a crazy bright blue. I really like keeping things looking realistic. So it's going to be quite pale. Again, normally I'll be over the top, so I'm not having the best vision here. That, go like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dust in the tops because I want to add some shading. Just to round them off a bit so that they're not just... The aim is to get them to sit into his face rather than being sort of like stuck in like marbles. So you've got to add shading. And then with a little bit of super white, I can just bring in some highlights underneath. Then all I need is a little bit of black extra. I'm going to try and create quite dreamy eyes. They're probably a bit bigger than they would be in the wild. Oh, again, without looking over the top. Wish me luck. Doing one eye is relatively easy. Trying to get the other one to match is not at all easy. Nearly there, guys, nearly there. Let's see, how's that looking? I ended up looking at the screen over there because I can see clearer. Do they match? Hang on. Go around that side a bit more. And then one final thing, back on my white, because I want to create a paste. So we've got a tiny bit of water there, but as little as possible. And I'm going to put some great big highlights in. Do that. We'll match them on this side because the light comes from the same place. So don't be tempted to mirror them because your light source isn't mirrored. And whilst I'm here, just give him a little dot on his nose. How's that? I think we're done. Crazy. So let me see if I can just turn it towards you. So, and then, I don't know, you will do it. Let's see if I can turn it towards the camera without a whole lot dropping off. Where are you? Boom. There we go. Look at that. Done in 1 hour, start to finish. Right, let me just put it down and I'll try and line it up against here again. Okay, let me just line that up. Wait a minute, just come around a bit more with it. There's a slight time delay on it, so it's a bit hard to see. There we go. Okay, do we have any questions? Woo! There we go. Do we have any questions? Oh, thanks, Terry. Terry's the one who made me do this. I was thinking about it and I kept thinking about it and I kept just going, no. Because it's really scary. Like, just, yeah, it's not me. It's not me at all doing this. So, but then Terry told me that I spent my entire life telling her to get over with herself and that because Terry comes on lots of my classes, and that everything she wants is on the other side of fear. And so she turned it straight back on me. And so you can thank Terry for me actually having the guts to do this. So, hi, Jane. Hi, Tracy. What size cake did you use? Okay, so it was just an 8-inch round, and I was going to just keep it as an 8-inch round, but when I looked at the picture, it was really bothering me that an 8-inch round basically stops there, and then he'd be missing, can you see it there? Look, right, that's an 8-inch round, but look, he's got no chin. So I put an extra piece in because that's quite a sizable chin, and I just didn't really want to stick like half a kilo of ice in there. So 1 8-inch round, as in 2 layers, and then I used 1 more 8-inch layer and just folded it in half, just so that has something to build the bottom of his face on. I knew someone was going to ask me a price. See, it doesn't work with me. My minimum order is 250. So that's why I wouldn't do this for a client, because I wouldn't work for less than 250 just because of my hours it takes. But you know, I think it's worth a bit more than 100. I think it's worth a bit more than 100. Come on, value your skills. If you can pull off stuff like this, I reckon people will give you more than 100. Give it a go. Let me know. Let me know. If I charge you more and see, I bet they don't run away. The reason why I didn't airbrush him is because he's a white tiger. And I didn't. Can you imagine me doing this and then having to get the airbrush out as well? If you were going to airbrush him, what would you airbrush? The bits that I dusted, like the darker brown bits. You could do, but you're asking for a lot of trouble. So if he was an orange tiger, I would airbrush him. Maybe another day I'll do something with the airbrush, but that's adding to our time. So let's see. Yeah, we're all chatting to each other. What, Debs, that's where you're going wrong. Underpricing, yes. Big wrong. I dare you to double it and then see. I bet they come back saying yes. Your pricing is in your head. It's not about your client. It's all about your confidence. If you have the confidence to price right. But then I don't always get it right. So as long as I lecture people, but sometimes I really screw it up. My hubby gets so mad. Oh, look at that. Can I just fix something? Is that terrible? Look at that, I've got a non-matching stripe and I can only just see it on the camera there. Terrible. Hang on, look. You can't have a stripe up there and not one there, can you? Is that better? That's better. Any more questions? Hannah, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for demoing. You're very welcome. Thank you, Liz. All right, guys. If everyone is cool and everyone's happy, I shall go and rescue my baby off Daddy. And I shall see you guys again. Yes, your husband dares you and they say yes. Otherwise, we don't care about people who've got friends who do it for cheaper or a bottle of wine. Value yourself and other people will value you. I swear. Value yourself and other people will value you. If you don't value yourself, there's absolutely no reason why they need to either, okay? And on that cheerful note, I'm going to say goodbye. See you later. Bye.